Are you thinking about buying a home in Los Angeles? Well, think again. Did you know that there's more upfront expenses than just your down payment and your closing costs when buying a home here in Los Angeles? In this video, I'll be teaching you about the top 3 upfront costs that you need to budget for so that you can confidently buy your first home here in the city of LA. Let's get into it. Welcome back to the channel, Living in Los Angeles. I'm Ra-sōn, Theus, your Los Angeles real estate broker, and I'd like to offer you my services to hold your hand and guide you through the entire home buying or home selling process here in the city of LA. Now, I put this channel together for folks just like you so you can learn everything you need to know about living here in the city of Los Angeles. So while you're here, go ahead, hit that subscribe button and hit the notification bell so that every week when I'm releasing new videos, you will be notified. All right, guys, so let's get right into this. So the first upfront cost I want you to know about is going to be your earnest money deposit. So what is an earnest money deposit? Well, when we submit your offer, we write your purchase agreement, we are going to put an amount that you are going to be depositing into the escrow account. Now, the purpose of the earnest money deposit is kind of like your skin in the game money. When you write an offer, you're saying, hey, Mr. Seller, I'm a qualified buyer. I want to purchase this home. I'm going to put this, deposit this money into an escrow account. And I want you to stop marketing the property so that I can do my due diligence process and determine if I want to move forward with this transaction. That's what your earnest money deposit is for. It's your skin in the game money. It's letting the seller know that you are a serious buyer and that you are interested in actually purchasing the property. If we didn't have consideration or what we call a deposit, then a lot of people would go around writing offers and getting in the real estate transactions and just pulling out without any consequences, okay? Now, what you do need to know is that this is an upfront cost and it's normally a portion of your down payment. So let's just say you were doing a 10% down payment, and here in Los Angeles, typically the earnest money deposit amount is 3%. Now, it does not have to be that. It's not written in stone. It's just a very common practice here in the city of Los Angeles. But it's possible, depending on what kind of market we're in. If we're in a seller's market, then a lot of times it's most likely going to be at least 3%. If we're in more of a buyer's market, then you can negotiate on what you want your earnest money deposit to be. But on average, it is about 3% here in the city of Los Angeles. Now, it's important to understand that that deposit is just a deposit. Now, there are something in place called contingencies that usually protect your earnest money deposit, so that if during the transaction you want to cancel the deal and you want to pull out, you'll get your whole entire earnest money deposit back. But you do need to know that it is an upfront cost for you, and that's money that you're going to have to already have ready to go to place into the escrow account when you first open your transaction. All right, so the next upfront expense that I want you to know about is going to be your home inspections. Now, this is really important because home inspections are kind of the cost of doing business if you're a home buyer. So let's just say we find a home, you love it, we write an offer, we get your offer accepted. You now, within 3 days of getting that offer accepted, you have wired your earnest money deposit into the escrow account, and now it's time for home inspections. Well, guess what? You're gonna hire a master certified home inspector to come out and to inspect that home, and that is an upfront cost because you have to pay that inspector for their service. And here's the thing you want to understand with home inspections is that that is a upfront cost that even if you cancel the transaction, you will most likely not get your money back. It's just the cost of doing business. So like I said, we open the transaction. Now it's time for us to do our due diligence. We call the home inspector out. A master certified home inspector is going to come out. They're going to perform a service for you. They're going to look throughout the entire house, because you have to remember, you know, before we start our due diligence process, we like the home, right? Like, you love the home. You probably went to an open house. We may have did a couple of tours. You wrote an offer. Obviously you like the house, but you really don't know anything about the house. So we have to learn about the house. And the way we go about doing that is through the due diligence process and by hiring a general home inspector. So like I said, that home inspector is going to come out. They're going to perform their service. They're going to go in the attic. They're going to go underneath the house, look at the foundation. They're going to look at the roof. They're going to look at all the components of the house, and they're going to call out health and safety issues that they find. Depending on what they find, there might even be other inspections that we have to have. We might need to call a plumber out. We might need to call an electrician out. We might need to call a foundation inspector to come out, and each one of these inspectors, each one of these inspections that we do are going to have a cost associated. Now, normally a general home inspection here in Los Angeles is going to range between $450 to $600. It really does depend on the square footage of the home, and if it's a large square foot home, like over 5,000 square feet, then you're looking at about $1,200 for a general home inspection. Now, if you need to call a plumber out, a plumber on average is about $350 to come out, assess what problems that the general home inspector found, and give you an estimate. An electrician is also about $250 to come out, assess what the general home inspector found, and give you an estimate to repair it. Foundation inspections can range between $350 to $500 for them to come out, do an inspection on your foundation, and give you an estimate for what it costs to repair it. Now, the estimate that you keep hearing me talk about is very important, because when we are collecting all this data and we're finding out about the home, we want an estimate because we want to know how much it's going to cost to make this problem right. The thing you want to understand is that there's no perfect home out there. All that matters is that how much is it going to cost to fix it and who's going to pay for it. So we usually want to dollarize what the repair cost is going to be in case we want to take that to the seller and ask the seller and try to negotiate with the seller and get the seller to cover that cost. Or if we're just going to ask them for a credit, we want to know how much we're going to have to come out of our pocket after the transaction so that we can repair whatever issues that we find. Or if it's a really big ticket item and it's something you just don't even want to deal with, maybe you don't want to buy a house with that problem, then of course we can cancel the transaction and get your earnest money deposit back, but you won't be getting the money back that you spent on all of these inspections. So that's a very important upfront cost that you need to know about. All right, guys, so the next upfront cost I want you to know about is going to be your appraisal. So what is an appraisal? An appraisal is when you are getting a loan on a home, and some people who pay cash still do appraisals as well too, because they want to define what the value is from a professional of this asset that they're purchasing. So guess what? When you get a loan, the bank needs to know, what is this asset worth? Because the home is being used as collateral for your loan. So they need to have a definitive answer on exactly what it's worth. So they hired an appraisal to come out and to go through the appraisal process. Now, that is something that the loan officer is going to have you pay for up front. So they're going to usually ask you for a credit card number or a debit card number, and then that's how they schedule the appraiser to come out. So it is an upfront cost to you. And in most cases, even if you decide to cancel the transaction, it is a cost that most likely not come back to you. In very few cases, I have worked with lenders and they had something as a part of their program where they will give you the money back for the appraisal. I've only seen that once out of hundreds of transactions, so it does exist. It's something that you can ask your lender about when you're choosing your lender. You can ask them about the cost of the appraisal. And actually, you know what, there actually has been other transactions where the lender did cover it, but in almost 99% of transactions, the buyer is going to be covering the cost of that appraisal. And even if you cancel the transaction, you're not going to get that money back. Okay, so that's really important to understand that that is also another upfront cost. Now, if you have more questions about other costs and expenses of what it takes to actually buy a home because you're budgeting right now and you want to know exactly how much money you're going to need so you can successfully close on a home transaction, then please feel free to reach out to me. All my contact information is below in the description, or feel free to scan the QR code right over here. If you like, we can schedule a Zoom consultation. We'll hop on that Zoom call. We'll discuss your unique situation and I'll help you come up with a game plan so that you can make home ownership your reality. All right, guys, that's all I have for you in this video, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.